giving a feedback about some of the complaints that we have received and which could be avoided. But we are also here just to encourage the members of the Hawks to see us as a team with them, because the legislation under which we operate, and I think one of you has already indicated, we don't only receive complaints from the members of the public against the members of the Hawks in their investigations. We are also entitled, in terms of the law, to receive complaints from the members of the Hawks against political pressure or any other pressure. And I think your colleague there has already indicated to you that any other pressure could be coming from their commanders or their seniors. And they have been assured by the acting General Lampopo that they should not be scared to come to us if they do have complaints that shows interference in their investigation, to come to us. So that is quite very critical, and that is why we are here, but also to encourage them to do their best and execute their functions without fear, favor, or prejudice, and also to find the best way in which they can avoid some of the complaints relating to not giving a feedback to the complainants or the victims of crime. So we felt that is quite very critical, and that is why we are crisscrossing all the provinces to give this kind of a feedback and engage with them.
And what would you say about the morale? Because if I'm not mistaken, the DPCI has been there for quite a while, but there hasn't been any leader. And that surely must have affected the community, the colleagues that you met today. What's your take with regards to their feelings and the morale?
Well, I'm not sure what you're referring to by saying there has not been a leader. There has always been a leader.
I may not have been aware, because I want to believe that the judge, how long have you been in the position?
You mean when you say there has not been a leader, you mean in terms of the office of
something like
the
that.
DPCI judge?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the term of my successor, I think, came to an end in 2022. And from there was no appointment until when I was appointed on the 14th of May 2024, almost like 2 years down the line. And subsequent to that, we did public engagement. And I'm not coming here for the first time, I'm coming here for the second time. I was here in the same environment in 2024, firstly to introduce myself and also to indicate what my mandate is.
Judge, Refile Bekane from OFM here. So many people may not be aware that they can lodge complaints at the Hawks. So what type of complaints can your office investigate?
Well, firstly, when it relates to the public, the provision is that they can lodge a complaint to us if there is a matter that the members of the Hawks are investigating and any person feels that their rights in the course of the investigation were infringed. That is what we are dealing with insofar as it relates to the members of the public. And this could, for example, assuming that you are a complainant or you are a victim of crime and the matter has been investigated by the Hawks, you don't get a feedback or you feel that your rights have been infringed. For example, at the time when they came to execute a search warrant or an arrest warrant, you could come to us if you feel that they did not conduct themselves.
I just want to find out what is the situation like in the province in terms of what you have come to visit here.
Well, the province, you mean as in the Free State?
Free State, yes, in the Free State.
What is the situation, I would imagine, in terms of the kind of complaints
Yes,
that
in
we
terms of
receive
complaints.
coming from? We actually don't have many complaints coming from this province as compared to Gauteng, Cape Town, and KZN. And perhaps these three provinces have the bulk of the complaints because they have got commercial activities that are happening. Gauteng, for example, you refer to it as a city of gold, so to put it. And I think Cape Town and KZ is because of the seas and the imports and the exports that are happening in those provinces, and where there is exchange of a lot of monies that are going, payments made, and all those things. So we most of the complaints we receive them from this provinces.
What type of complaints are these? Because I know for a fact there are cases that drag so long, and at some point we also forget in the space that they do exist.
Well, one of the things that we have been discussing, and I think the acting head of the Hawks and also the provincial head, we have indicated to them, and I'm sure they will agree with us, that most of the complaints are coming from people who do not know what is happening to their cases. In terms of the feedback regarding their cases, in terms of the delay in finalization of the investigation, and lastly, the delay in finalization of the cases if these cases are in court. Those are most of the complaints that we are receiving from the members of the public. But a discussion has ensued, and that is why we are going through the provinces, and we have no doubt in our minds that post this engagement with the members of the Hawks, probably we're going to get less complaints, because some of these complaints could be easily avoided, say for example, by giving constant feedback to the complainants.
I guess the complaints are not only boiling from one point. He also has to involve with the NPA in terms of finalizing these matters in the court. Is it also one of those influencing the complaints?
You are so right, and we spoke about it, and I'm happy that you have raised it, because sometimes when you see the delay even happening in our courts, we may think that that is the mistakes of the members of the Hawks. Because some of the cases, and especially complicated cases, they are guided by prosecutors from the NPA. In other words, the members of the Hawks would have done their investigation, and they would have reached a stage where probably they would feel that the investigation is complete. But before they enroll these matters in court, they would want to have an assurance from prosecutors that they have a tied case, or there are certain things that must still be investigated, and that also cause a delay that the public would often frown upon, to say that there is unnecessary delay in the investigation or in the finalization of our cases in court. And sometimes when we receive a complaint from the members of the public, the complainant, and we get a response from the Hawks that the docket has been submitted to the prosecution and it has taken time to come back with the prosecution, we are entitled to ask information from the NPA as to the reasons regarding the delay. I will not be able to assure them, but what I would ask them to do, in those circumstances, they should lodge the complaint, or they will be entitled to lodge the complaint with us, so that we can make a follow-up on their behalf to find out why their matters have been delayed.